Alright, so here we go. Here's my lab final code. Here we have the standard header where we include interrupts, LCD driver, and as well as my delay. I used integer A for all my loops, initialize LCD, enable global interrupts, and joystick pins. So if center button is pressed, it's going to display A equals A, which is just, well, it's whatever A will be at that time. And it'll print it out on the LCD. I also included a delay just to be safe. If the up button is pressed, as long as it's going to count from 0 to 100, so as long as A is below 100, A will add 1 to it and display it on the LCD with a delay each time it does it, so we can see the increments. And once it reaches 100 from this, it's going to reset to 0 and loop back again. This will keep doing it until we press the center button, which will display our number. If the down button is pressed, we have if A is greater than 0, it will decrement 1 because we're going from 100 down to 0. That will also display on the LCD. Once 0 is reached, A will reset. In this case I put 101 because 101 minus 1 will give us 100 as our first displayed value. Once again, this will keep doing it until our do while function comes up and says if the center button is pressed, it will display the integer shown. Now if we have our right button, I use the modulus. We have if the integer is odd, which is 1, as long as A is below 99, A will continue to add 2 because we want to display all the odd numbers going up from 0 to 100. So if say we get 53, it's going to add 2 to it and continue to make it an odd value and display it on the LCD. Otherwise, if it's an even integer that we were left off at last, for which here we write it as 0, we just want to add 1 to it first and display it on the LCD, and then it'll continue to increment in even numbers. Once 100 is reached, it will reset to 0 and start again. Once again, if the center button is pressed, it will show up the integer that we are at. Lastly, if the left button is pressed, it does it with all the even numbers. So when we have 1, which is an odd, we are going to add 1 to it to make it an even, and then it'll continue to increment evens from there and display it. And if we have 0, which is an even, or rather in general if our number is even, we will add 2 to it to continue to make it even and display it on the LCD. Once the limit 100 is reached, because once again we're going from 0 to 100, then we reset it back to 0 and continue looping. And that's it. Let's take a look at how it works. So I'll turn on the power supply. I already wrote the code into it, so it should work. We'll press the up button first. Here it goes, incrementing. Started from 0. Should get all the way to 100 and then reset afterwards. And there we go. After 100 it reset to 0 and it goes right back. If we press stop, it stops at the number it was at, in this case 37. And we can press up again and it'll continue to increment. We can stop and let's go right. Now we are incrementing by what do we have here? Odd numbers. Right is odd. So, and we can test that. We can see if we stop, that's an odd number. Let's keep going. Odd number. Odd number. It's just always going to be odd numbers. And it's going to get only up to 99 because of that. We can stop that. We can go left. Left will give us all even numbers. As we can see, it's giving us all even numbers here, no matter which value we try and stop at. Oh nice, I got 100. And if we go down, we decrement from 100 down to 0. We can watch it go all the way down, and then it should reset back to 100 and start again. And there it goes. That is all.